Have you ever met someone and felt this bizarre sense of familiarity, like you've known them your entire life? It's a connection so intense it rattles you, making you question everything you thought you knew about love. This isn't just good chemistry. It could be the most profound spiritual connection you'll ever experience. It's a feeling that's both incredible and incredibly confusing. A magnetic pull that feels like destiny, but is often loaded with challenges that push you right to your edge. You might even be asking yourself if you're going a little crazy. The intensity, the way they mirror your deepest insecurities, the feeling that this person sees straight into your soul. It can be a lot. This is the exact experience so many people describe when they talk about meeting their twin flame. Now, we've got to be real here. The idea of twin flames is a spiritual concept, a powerful way to understand a very specific, intense bond. It's rooted in New Age spirituality, which was popularized in the 1970s by writers like Elizabeth Clare Prophet. The belief is that one soul can be split between two bodies. But let's be clear. This is not a scientifically proven phenomenon. You're not going to find twin flames in a psychology textbook, as there's no empirical evidence to back it up. It's a modern spiritual framework that gives us language for a deeply personal and often life-changing experience. Some preliminary studies in 2024 and 2025 have started exploring potential biometric and quantum parallels. But this research is still very new and controversial. This is also a concept that demands caution. That intensity we talked about can sometimes be used to romanticize what are actually unhealthy or toxic relationships. As recent documentaries have shown, the search for this ultimate connection can be manipulated. So, as we go through these signs, it's so important to stay grounded and be honest with yourself. A true spiritual connection is supposed to be a catalyst for your growth and lead you to more self-love, not trap you in a cycle of pain. So, let's get into it. We're going to break down the 5 unmistakable signs that you've met your twin flame. We'll look at what makes this connection so different, explore it through both a spiritual and a psychological lens, and help you find some clarity on this wild journey. The first sign: instant, uncanny recognition. All right, the first and most foundational sign you've met your twin flame is an immediate, almost spooky sense of recognition. This isn't just, "Oh, I like them," or "we have things in common." It's a deep, soul-level jolt, like you're meeting someone you've known across lifetimes. The first time your eyes meet, it can feel like coming home after a very long trip. There's a comfort and sense of belonging that makes absolutely no sense, because you just met. Spiritually, the idea is that this is the moment the two halves of the same soul finally recognize each other. It's the click of a key fitting a lock you didn't even know you were carrying. This is why the conversation just flows, why you can finish each other's sentences, and why there's an unspoken understanding right from the get-go. You feel seen in a way you've never been seen before because, in a way, you're looking at another part of yourself. So what's happening in our brains to create this feeling? Well, some psychological theories suggest this could be a form of profound projection. Carl Jung's work on archetypes, for instance, talks about the anima and animus, the unconscious masculine and feminine sides within all of us. When you meet someone who perfectly embodies that inner counterpart, it can trigger an incredible feeling of wholeness and recognition. It feels like you've found your other half because you've essentially projected the hidden part of your own psyche onto them. This can be even stronger if you share similar life experiences or past traumas, creating an instant, powerful bond of empathy. Picture this. A woman named Clara, a graphic designer, has always felt a little out of sync with everyone else. She's creative and intuitive, but always hides parts of herself. One day at a workshop, she's paired with Leo. The moment they start talking, the room just disappears. He talks about his struggles as a musician, about feeling like an old soul, about his love for obscure vintage films. All things Clara has felt, but never said out loud. It's not just the common interests. It's the way. He talks about his inner world. It feels like she's listening to her own thoughts. She feels a sense of ease that usually takes her years to build. That's the feeling. You feel like you can finally take off the mask. But it's important to separate this from a simple, fiery attraction. While the chemistry is definitely there, this recognition is deeper. It's a soul-level familiarity, a sense of peace even within all the intensity. It feels less like starting a new story and more like you're picking up a chapter from a book written long ago. The second sign, a deeply transformative and challenging connection. The second sign, and maybe the most defining one, is that this connection is built to transform you, which almost always means it's going to be challenging. If your relationship is all sunshine and roses, it might be a soulmate connection, which is amazing. But the twin flame journey is a different beast. Its main purpose isn't just companionship, it's about spiritual growth. And real growth rarely happens when you're comfortable. This relationship will act as a trigger, forcing you to face every single part of yourself that you've ignored, suppressed, or left unhealed. It's a roller coaster of euphoric highs and devastating lows. The highs feel like pure, unconditional love, a sense of oneness that's almost divine. But the lows can be brutal, triggering your deepest fears about abandonment, self-worth, and love. Spiritually, that's the whole point. Your twin flame is your mirror soul. They don't just reflect your good side. They're designed to show you your shadows, your ego, and your insecurities so that you can finally see them and heal them. The pain isn't because they're trying to hurt you. It's that their very presence lights up the unhealed corners of your own soul. The universe, in this view, sets up this meeting to fast-track your spiritual awakening. From a psychological view, this can look like a textbook attachment theory scenario. Often, people in these dynamics have anxious or avoidant attachment styles, and the relationship becomes an arena where those patterns get played out to the extreme. The chaos can feel addictive, and you might mistake a trauma bond, a toxic cycle of high highs and low lows, for spiritual passion. And this is where you have to be brutally honest with yourself. A true twin flame connection, no matter how hard it gets, ultimately leads to your positive growth, self-awareness, and self-love. A toxic relationship just drains you. It isolates you and leaves you feeling smaller over time. Think of it like a personal trainer. They push you until your muscles scream and you want to quit. But the goal is to make you stronger. That's the twin flame dynamic. The pain has a purpose, your growth. In a toxic relationship, the pain just hurts. This often leads to the infamous runner and chaser stage. The intensity gets to be too much, and one person, the runner, pulls away while the chaser tries to fix it. This part is excruciating, but it forces the chaser to stop looking for validation outside of themselves and to find wholeness on their own. The runner, meanwhile, is meant to confront the fears that made them run. It's a painful separation, but it's believed to be a necessary step that forces both people to do their inner work. So, if you're in a connection that is somehow both the most beautiful and the most difficult thing you've ever experienced, ask yourself, despite the pain, is this inspiring me to become a better, more whole version of myself? If the answer is yes, you're likely experiencing this transformative sign. The third sign, the mirror soul effect. This next sign is the engine behind that transformation we just talked about. The mirror soul effect. Your twin flame acts as a perfect, unflinching mirror of your own inner world. Everything you adore about them is often a quality you have or want to have yourself. And more importantly, everything that drives you absolutely crazy about them is almost always a direct reflection of a wound, fear, or insecurity you're carrying. This goes way beyond your partner pointing out one of your quirks. The mirror effect is an unconscious, energetic thing. They don't have to say a word. Their actions, their choices, their very way of being will somehow shine a giant spotlight on your most hidden issues. If you have a deep fear of abandonment, they might be fiercely independent, triggering that fear so you can finally face it. If you struggle with self-worth, they might have moments of not choosing you, forcing you to learn how to choose yourself first. Spiritually, this is seen as a sacred contract your souls made. The whole point is to help each other see the parts of yourselves you can't see alone. It's considered an act of profound love on a soul level, even if it feels like hell on a human level. The universe sends you a mirror so you can do the work to become whole. It's an exercise in radical self-reflection. Psychologically, this is the classic concept of projection on steroids. We all project our inner stuff onto other people, but with a twin flame, it's like the volume is turned up to 1,000. Their behavior becomes a screen for your own unresolved issues. For example, if you see them as emotionally unavailable, the mirror asks, how am I being emotionally unavailable to myself? If you see them as running from commitment, the mirror asks, what am I refusing to commit to in my own life? It forces you to take radical ownership. This is why these relationships can feel so explosive. Imagine looking in a mirror and hating what you see. Your first instinct might be to blame the mirror, get angry at it, or just run away. That's exactly what happens. We blame our twin for our pain, not realizing they're just showing us where we need to heal. The healing begins when you stop blaming the mirror and start using the reflection as a roadmap for your own inner work. For instance, a man named David is intensely frustrated with his partner, Sarah, who he thinks is his twin flame. He sees her as indecisive and unable to commit. Through some journaling, he starts to see the mirror. He realizes his anger at her indecisiveness is actually a reflection of his own paralysis about his career, something he's been avoiding for years. Her external state was mirroring his internal one. When he sees that, he can shift his focus from trying to change her to working on his own life, which changes the entire energy between them. So, is this person unintentionally pushing all of your buttons? Are they revealing your deepest insecurities? If so, instead of blaming them, take a breath and look in the mirror they're holding up. The biggest healing of your life might be waiting for you. If any of this is hitting home and you're nodding along, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. This path can feel lonely, but you're definitely not alone in this. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Cool for yourselves. Which of these signs has been the most powerful for you? Sharing our stories is how we help each other feel seen. The fourth sign, Complementary differences, the yin and yang dynamic. While the mirror effect highlights what you have in common, the fourth sign is all about your differences. Twin flames are often described as two sides of the same coin, or a perfect yin and yang. Where you are weak, they are strong. Where you are lacking, they are abundant. Your core souls might be the same, but your personalities and skills often fit together to create a perfect balance. This isn't about being opposites in a way that just causes fights. It's a dynamic where your differences create wholeness when you're together. For instance, one of you might be the grounded, practical, steady one, while the other is the free-spirited, creative dreamer. One might be an introvert, and the other an extrovert. Together, you form a powerful team, able to take on the world in a way neither of you could alone spiritually. This reflects the dual nature of the original soul. The idea is that before the split, the soul had everything: masculine and feminine, light and dark, action and stillness. In reuniting, you're bringing those complementary energies back together. Your differences are there to help each other become more balanced. The introvert learns from the extrovert how to engage with the world, while the extrovert learns the value of quiet reflection from the introvert. Your differences are gifts you exchange. Psychologically, this makes sense. We are often drawn to people who have qualities we admire but haven't developed in ourselves. It's part of what Jung called individuation, the journey to becoming a whole, integrated person. A relationship with someone who complements you can be an amazing training ground, stretching you out of your comfort zone. Let's go back to Clara and Leo. Clara is organized and thinks through every detail. Leo is spontaneous, lives in the moment, and has a million ideas, but struggles to follow through. At first, this could cause friction. Clara gets anxious over Leo's lack of a plan, and Leo feels suffocated by Clara's need for structure. But as they learn to navigate the connection, they see the gift. Clara helps Leo ground his creative visions into a real plan to get his music out there. In return, Leo helps Clara let go of her need for control, encouraging her to be more spontaneous. He brings adventure into her life. They don't try to change each other. They learn from each other. They become more balanced because of their differences. This dynamic feels like you fit together like puzzle pieces. Your strengths shore up their weaknesses, and theirs do the same for you. It's a partnership that doesn't create codependency, but instead lifts you both up to become your best, most well-rounded selves. The fifth sign, overwhelming synchronicities. The final sign you just can't ignore is the constant, overwhelming flood of synchronicities. A synchronicity is a meaningful coincidence, an event that feels way too specific to be random. When you meet your twin flame, it often feels like the universe is screaming for your attention, sending you a constant stream of signs and messages that all point to this one person. These can show up in all kinds of ways. You might start seeing repeating numbers like 1111, 222, or 444 every time you think of them. You might hear their unique name pop up in conversations or see it on a billboard. Maybe you keep running into them in the most unlikely places. You might discover you have the same birthday, grew up on streets with the same name, or that your family trees have weird overlaps. Some people even report having shared dreams or a telepathic link where they can feel each other's emotions from miles away. From a spiritual perspective, these are winks from the universe, messages from your guides confirming you're on the right path. They're meant to reassure you when you're full of doubt. The idea is that this connection is divinely guided. And these signs are the physical proof. Especially during a separation, these signs can feel like a lifeline, a reminder that the connection is real and has a higher purpose. Now, the skeptic in you might be thinking, confirmation bias. And that's a valid point. Once someone is on your mind, your brain's filtering system starts pointing out everything related to them. You're not necessarily seeing their name more. You're just noticing it more. The intense emotions you're feeling make you hyper-aware of patterns. But for those on the journey, the sheer amount, the specificity, and the perfect timing of these synchronicities often feel like they go way beyond simple psychology. It feels like a direct conversation with the universe. Imagine you're going through that painful runner phase. You haven't heard from them in weeks, and you're starting to doubt everything. You get in your car, turn on the radio, and the first thing you hear is your song. Later, you're scrolling social media, and a memory pops up from a year ago, a photo from the day you first met. Then you go to a coffee shop, and the person in front of you has the same uncommon name as them. Individually, they're just little coincidences. But when they happen one after another, right when you're at your lowest, it feels like a powerful message. It feels like the universe is saying, hang in there, don't give up. This is real. This constant stream of meaningful coincidences is a hallmark of the twin flame experience. It's the universe making sure you can't just write this person off. So there you have it. The 5 authentic signs you've met your twin flame. That instant, uncanny recognition. The deeply transformative and challenging bond. The powerful mirror effect. The complementary yin and yang dynamic. And the overwhelming synchronicities that feel like messages from the universe itself. This journey is not for the faint of heart. It will challenge you, break you open, and force you to grow. But it's so important to remember that this path is ultimately about you. It's about your healing, your awakening, and your journey back to loving yourself. Another person can be a catalyst, but no one else can complete you. You have to find that wholeness inside yourself. And please, always lead with discernment. An intense connection is not automatically a spiritual one, and the twin flame label should never, ever be an excuse to tolerate disrespect or stay in a dynamic that is genuinely hurting you. A true twin flame connection is rooted in unconditional love, and that love has to start with yourself. Thank you so much for being here today. This is a complex topic, and I hope this brought you some clarity. I have one last question for you to think about, and maybe share in the comments. What is the most profound lesson this connection has taught you about yourself? If you got value from this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more on spiritual growth, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's next. Remember, you are the one creating your journey. Embrace it with courage and love.